I started the day today at the Lawson Park Markets in Mudgee. It was a great market. There were a huge number of stallholders there. A lot of people. Admittedly, a lot of the people were there in town as visitors because of the Wanderers A-League match that was on Saturday night. But still, there were a lot of people going through, and it was a great chance for me to talk to the stallholders. I went around and visited all the stallholders and said hello to them, and some of them I'd met before, some of them met me for the first time, but it was a good chance to have a little bit of a talk to them and talk to them about what I believed is needed for this electorate. I also stood at the stand and talked to people that came by. Again, some people Sydney, some people Newcastle, but still there were some Mudgee and Mudgee region people, a few people from Dubbo, so it certainly attracted people from a vast area around the region and also way outside the region, again, mainly because of that A-League match. From there, I went on to St Phillins and spoke to the person there. He was a greyhound trainer and owner, and he obviously was still very disappointed with the state government in the decision that they made and then unmade in relation to greyhounds. But it was good to have a look around his facilities, and my experience with greyhounds, my dad was president of the Dubbo Greyhound Racing Club for many years. The function room at the Dubbo Greyhound Racing Club is named after my dad. So my experience from growing up, being around greyhounds, and certainly my experience in visiting this particular greyhound trainer today, is that greyhound owners, in the main, really look after their dogs. And this particular gentleman had pets as greyhounds as well as his racing greyhounds. And sure, there were some people in the industry who were doing the wrong thing. They need to be weeded out. The whole industry does not need to be shut down. So it's a good chance to talk to that particular person about greyhound racing, about the state government, and just about things in general. I then went on to Golgong and had a meeting there with a particular resident who wanted to see me, and we talked about a number of issues. Probably climate change and renewables were the main focus for that conversation, but there are certainly a lot of other things, including disenchantment with the major parties. That's certainly a theme I hear over and over and over and over. After I finished there, I came out to where I am now in Meeble and met with a resident here, and I did run into this resident in Golgong one day, and he wanted to chat to me about a particular issue. And it seemed to me, after looking at some plans and some of the things that he'd been working on, it just was a case of some government departments not talking to other government departments. So he'd written to the minister responsible for what he thought was his area, the Crown Lands Minister, and the Crown Lands Minister said it's not our area of responsibility, go and see the Office of Environment and Heritage. When he talked to them, they wanted to keep passing the buck and going around in circles, and it was just one of those cases where someone from the government just needed to sit down with people from those particular departments, get them in a room together and say, let's sort out this problem. It didn't look like that big a problem to sort out. And using my council hat, my previous council hat, some of the issues that were there, I thought looked pretty easy to sort out, but they just needed to get people talking in the same room and talking together. And certainly there was frustration there from that particular resident about the state government, about going around in circles, rather than just getting the problem solved and fixing really what was a relatively minor issue. I'm about to go home tonight. I've got a function at the theatre, and then tomorrow I'm at the Riverside Market. So it's been another really enjoyable day on the campaign trail. Talked to a lot of people today, and again I expect another good fun day on the campaign trail tomorrow. This has been Mathew Dickerson, your independent voice.